Chapter 9. Space. We are currently... This is now back... You know how we went backwards and we talked to Mortarion on Eridea, whatever that planet was called. Eridatha? And that was like before any of this happened. So this is Act 4. This is after Mortarion has asked Vaux to be by his side when something happens. So this is space. They are getting all the boys together. We have the Emperor's Children ship, which is pink and gold and very sleek. Very, very nice. We have the Renegade Warbands ships. I didn't know what they looked like. There wasn't a description, so I just drew little ships. There was a little excerpt that they had about the Emperor's Children in which that nobody liked them, but they had a lot of pride in themselves, and they were sadists, I think. And then we have the Thousand Suns with their pyramid-crosted ships. I just stuck a pyramid on a ship, and I gave it the colors. Pretty good pyramid. All good things are pink, like these nuts. And then we have the Grey Perturabo flotillas with the hazard stripes. And then we have the Night Lords, their little blue lightning ships. It's, well, dusk black, it says. And then we have Alpha Legion. Didn't know how to draw Alpha Legion ships, so this is an Alpha Legion ship. They're described as Ophidian. I don't know what that means. I should have googled that. And then we have the Red World Eater ships. Very cool. And then we have the Bronze Word Bearers ships. There's more than like one ship of each one. It was just easiest to just do like one. Aww. And then we have the Black Legion. And then the last to arrive, as is normal, is the Death Guard. There we go. The Death Guard. There are a few Death Guard ships, but we're just gonna look at these two. And then there's like a little bit. There's a little shuttle. And Dagon is on this shuttle. And he's kind of saying like, no one from the Solace knows where he is, because it's quite a big ship. So everyone can kind of just do whatever they want. And you're just assumed to be on the ship, but you don't actually know if everyone's on the ship, because it's such a giant ship, you know? And he's like, over to the Terminus S, which is this other ship over here. And then we get to see a new character. Enter Typhus. Dragon lands and is taken through the ship, and they find Typhus in his bedroom. He's a stinky boy. We don't really like Typhus. Vaux doesn't like Typhus. So I don't like Typhus, because I trust Vaux. Vaux is a good boy. Dragon enters the room. And he's like, hey, Typhus? Wow. Hey, Typhus. What you doing, bud? And then Typhus is like, you've got thin blood. Do you even know why we're called the Unbroken? Do you even know why you're called Gallowsman? And Dragon's like, I don't know. I think so, but it's probably wrong. And then Typhus is like, yeah, you're wrong. Fucking bitch. There was this whole thing about lots of flies outside of Typhus's room, and you're not allowed to flinch at them, otherwise he'll call you a little bitch. But Dragon has thin blood because he's not from Barbarous. So, or Terra, I'm not sure which. But he's not from either of those planets, so they call him a thin blood. It's just like a slur for the Death Guard, I guess. Take a shower? He should. He really should. Okay. The story of the Primarch. I called it that. It is not actually called anything in the book, but I called it that. This is Typhus speaking. He was fresh from the surface. There was still the poison mist curling from his robes. He was not even wearing armor. He was so thin. The Emperor stood by his side. The light from his armor was impossible to look at. What did we think? That the Primarch was a wretch? Something to be ashamed of? But the Primarch had no doubt. He addressed us. He never raised his voice. He spoke as if he recognized every face in that audience, though most there were from Terra. It was the first and last time I heard him utter anything remotely affectionate. He said that we were his unbroken blades. He said that we were his death guard. The Dusk Raiders were forgotten, leaving us with 2 new names. To the rest of the universe, we were indeed the Death Guard. Among ourselves, we were the Unbroken. It hasn't changed. To those outside, we were our terror. To those within, we are persistent. Typhus continues. This is outside of that little short story excerpt. We were the Unbroken. He never let us clean the filth from our armor. Over time, we stopped wanting to. We never turned away. It was a crooked road that took us to Terra. But once we were there, we extracted our blood price. And then Dragon's like, and now we return. And Typhon's like, no! No, for some reason, that wisdom is not heeded. We have the chance now. The road is clear. We could do what we did 10 millennia ago and march with the new War Master to the palace. The chance is there, hung before us, and our claws are across it. And Dragon pauses for a second and says, Ultramar? To which Typhus replies, Ultramar! Okay, so we're back in space. The Death Guard ships are there, all of the ships are there, just sort of floating around. And then who appears? What is this? This is the ship, the Vengeful Spirit. And all the other ships fall into formation behind it. And they follow him. And they approach a gate. And the Vengeful Spirit is pushing through. And goes through the gate. And all these boys following up behind follow through. Some of them explode, some of them don't have such a great time, but they're trying their best. And then after they get through the gate, they're no longer in the warp. They are now in the real space. Can't remember what they call it. Meta space? They call it something. And before them, isolated and embattled, a single point of light amid a galaxy of darkness, stands the object of their fury. Cadia stands for now. That's the end of chapter 9. Thank you. Like and subscribe.